The moment it happened, everything went silent, as if the world itself was holding its breath. What began as an ordinary day collapsed into a single heartbeat where one fragile decision, one unexpected act, threatened to change several lives forever. There were signs before it happened, subtle warnings no one noticed at first, tiny cracks forming beneath calm smiles and routine steps. And just when it seemed like there was no turning back, something unseen waited in the shadows, ready to test how far kindness could reach, but whether it would arrive in time was still painfully uncertain. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us what being human truly means, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel, Kind Vibes, to stay connected with stories that matter. Arman Haleem never imagined his life would narrow down to a single moment of fear and choice. He was known in his small coastal town as a quiet man with tired eyes and a gentle posture, someone who kept to himself after life taught him too many lessons too fast. Years earlier, he had lost everything that once defined him, not through one great tragedy, but through a slow series of disappointments that hollowed him out from the inside. He worked long shifts at a storage yard near the docks, lifting crates under gray skies, coming home to a small apartment that echoed with memories he never spoke about. To the world, he looked fine, but inside him lived a constant ache, the kind that grows when hope is postponed for too long. That morning felt heavier than usual. The air was thick, the sea restless, and Arman sensed a strange pull he couldn't explain. On his walk to work, he noticed a small figure sitting near the old service road that led away from town, a place most people avoided. It was easy to look away, to convince himself it wasn't his problem, but something about that stillness stopped him. As he got closer, he realized it wasn't abandonment he was seeing, but exhaustion and fear wrapped together. The situation was more complicated than it first appeared, and helping meant risking something Arman wasn't sure he still had to give. The days that followed were not simple or heroic. They were messy, uncertain, and filled with moments where turning back would have been easier. Arman faced resistance from people who judged without understanding, who believed kindness should come with conditions. He struggled with his own doubts, haunted by the thought that caring too much could break him again. Nights became sleepless, filled with questions about responsibility, sacrifice, and whether one broken person could truly help another. Yet, slowly, something inside him began to shift. Each small effort, each moment of patience, started stitching together parts of his heart he thought were permanently torn. Meanwhile, change was unfolding quietly. What once felt like a burden began to feel like purpose. Arman noticed how the smallest gestures carried unexpected power, how safety could be built from consistency, and how trust grows not from promises but from presence. The world did not magically become kinder overnight, but his corner of it softened. Neighbors who once watched from a distance began to notice. Some offered help, others offered silence, but even that silence felt less heavy than before. Arman realized that kindness doesn't erase pain, it stands beside it and says you are not alone. Just when things seemed stable, a setback arrived without warning. Old fears resurfaced, misunderstandings spread, and the fragile balance Arman worked so hard to protect trembled. It felt unfair, like being punished for trying to do the right thing. For a moment, he considered letting go, stepping back into the safety of isolation where nothing could hurt him again. But standing there, facing the consequences of caring, he understood something profound. Walking away would hurt far more than staying. Because once you choose compassion, it becomes part of who you are. In the weeks that followed, the transformation became undeniable. Arman wasn't suddenly wealthy or powerful, but he was lighter. His steps carried intention, his eyes no longer avoided connection. What he had done did not make headlines, yet it quietly rewrote futures. The storage yard still demanded long hours, the apartment was still small, but it no longer felt empty. Kindness had reshaped his days, not as a grand reward, but as a steady warmth that reminded him he mattered. If this story is touching your heart even a little, please take a moment right now to like this video and share it. Your engagement helps stories of compassion reach more people who may be struggling in silence. And before we reach the end, we'd truly love to hear from you, so please comment below what this story made you feel or a moment when kindness changed your life.